This is Algebra, Lesson 5.3, Intercept Form. So this lesson will take our recursive rules, our start-change rules, and instead start putting them in a y equals form. If you've taken an algebra class before, you may be familiar with y equals mx plus b, or we say y equals a plus bx. Now these are the exact same thing. Whatever method you prefer, you can go with that method. The algebra textbook that we use uses this format, which is less common. The mx plus b form is much more common, but they're the same thing. In the a plus bx form, whatever your start is goes in for a, and whatever your change is goes in for b. If we want to use the other form, it's the same thing, it's just kind of backwards. Whatever your start is goes in for b, and whatever your change is goes in for m. Sometimes we call the start the y-intercept, sometimes we call the change the slope. We will actually start using those specific terms with more frequency in later sections. My investigation shows Manisha exercising. She starts by jogging to the gym. Her jog to the gym burns 215 calories. Her workout at the gym is to pedal a stationary bike, which burns 3.8 calories per minute. Write the recursive rule for the number of calories Manisha has burned after each minute she pedals the bike. So we're going to do our start and our change because it asks for a recursive rule. This one starts at 215. She's already burned 215 by the time she starts pedaling, and while she pedals she adds 3.8 to her total calories burned. So I can fill in some values in my table. I started at 215. And I'm adding 3.8 calories every minute. So, let me start over. 215, enter, plus 3.8, enter. Did it again. Now, my table only wanted the first 0, 1, 2 entries, and then it jumps to 20 right away. And this is kind of the shortcoming of the recursive rule. If I want to go to 20, it takes me a while to keep hitting enter. So I got my 1, 2, 3, 4 answers on the board. 0, 1, 2, 3 answers on the board. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And depending on how good my calculator is, maybe I missed a enter, maybe I got too many enters. I got 287.2. Okay, now I gotta go up to 30, and then 45, and then 60. And you can kind of just see that it takes a minute, and maybe I lose track. And who really wants to go up to 60? That's where the intercept form comes in handy. Rather than hitting enter 20 times, I can simply multiply by 20. Or rather than hitting enter 60 times, I can simply multiply by 60. So that expression is going to look like 215 plus 3.8x. I'm doing it in one step instead of 60 enter steps. So let's fill out the rest of this table. 215 plus 3.8 times 20. I want to check that 20 to make sure I got the right answer. And I didn't. I was off by 1. And then we can put in 30. And then we can put in 45. And then we can put in 60. But you can see by simply putting in how many enters we would have pushed in for the x, rather than actually having to hit enter 20 times, we get the same answer. And how long did it take to burn 443? I found the answer already right here. It took 60 minutes. But we can use our solving skills to get that answer. I would substitute 443 in for y and solve this equation. Subtract 215 from each side of the equation. So that would be 8, 3, and I don't need to do that, 2, and then divide by 3.8 on each side of the equation. And just to make sure we're doing this right, and I got 60, and that's what we wanted to have. So if you're not very skilled with the solving, we did a whole chapter of that in chapter 4. We'll have a little bit more practice at the end of this chapter. Good luck with the exercises, and let me know if you have any questions.